performing region in the country. We want Orange County to be known not only as the premier place to do business, but a home for the entrepreneurial spirit and a hub for innovation. That starts with invigorating a culture of top-notch customer service in our very own Orange County government operations. So from the top down, we are evaluating our policies and procedures to help optimize the development process and seek out efficiencies. We must not forget that time is money for business. Our Building Safety Division is reviewing its practice for efficiency and has converted many of our permitting processes to be online, reducing wait times in most cases for our permit turnaround times are 14 days or less. Right now, we are managing 60% of our permits online. The goal is to have over 90% online service by October of this year. I was recently at the dedication of a new 50,000 square foot administrative building at Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin has 9,000 employees that live and work across Central Florida. They were able to build their new building in 1 year and fill it with 1,000 new employees. A 250,000 square foot building built in 1 year. That's incredible. Perhaps government can learn something from that. In Orange County, at their west side campus, is 2.6 million square feet, larger than the convention center, and 1.5 million square feet at the east side campus. In addition to economic contributions of direct Lockheed Martin jobs, the company has more than 1,300 suppliers in Florida and spends about $4 billion annually with companies, for a total 10-year economic impact of nearly $70 billion. $70 billion. We are grateful that today Kevin Darrenkamp, the VP of General Counsel with Lockheed, could join us. Please join me in recognizing Kevin and Lockheed for all their contributions to our community. And the Mitsubishi Hitachi Power Systems is another excellent example of our region's economic influence. Mitsubishi is a global manufacturer and power generation equipment service company. I had an opportunity to tour the turbine blade manufacturing facility and support center located in Orange County. I was impressed with the enthusiasm of the workers and how many of them received their education while working at Mitsubishi. Many of their employees are UCF graduates. Some started as skilled workers who were able to become engineers thanks to the Mitsubishi tuition reimbursement program. This is the kind of career development we need, where workers have the opportunity to move up within an organization. I would like to recognize Paul Brown, who is the CEO there at Mitsubishi, and thank him for his leadership in economic impact. Now, Paul said to me earlier, he said that today is the last day of his fiscal year, and he may have to leave early because he's closing a $1 billion deal. So Paul, run. Close that $1 billion deal. These companies, Lockheed and Mitsubishi, continue to thrive in our community and add high-wage, high-value jobs to our local economy. They see the value of our infrastructure and skilled workforce and choose to continue investing here. We thank them and are grateful for their numerous contributions of time, talent, and community service. Orange County has a number of acclaimed higher education institutions here. It is great to have institutions like the University of Central Florida, Rollins College, Full Sail, Valencia, and I might add the FAMU College of Law in our community. We must also focus on developing a skilled labor pool that is necessary to keep pace with the myriad of infrastructure projects underway. Orlando Technical Technical College, under the umbrella of Orange County Public Schools, is training our youth for skilled jobs for the present and future. We will look to continue to solidify our world-class modeling, simulation, and training industry. This industry cluster represents $6 billion in contracting authority and represents 30,000 jobs with an average salary of over $78,000 a year. The industry cluster, located in the Central Florida Research Park, is the sixth largest development of this kind in the country, with 10,000 employees. The commercialization opportunities for this technology are endless. Our goal is to help other sectors flourish, such as life sciences, artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, optics, education, and many more, through a foundational platform of research, talent, and entrepreneurship. Areas like Lake Nona's Medical City is being developed to be a living lab for innovation in healthcare. This is an example of the type of experimental prototype community I envision for our entire region. Just a couple of weeks ago, I attended an announcement in Lake Nona of an autonomous vehicle shuttle system being launched by a New Orlando-based company named Beep. Through their partnership with Navia, Beep is collaborating to bring the first autonomous to Central Florida, with service expected this spring. I would also like to recognize our host sponsor today, Advent Health. Building on their 110-year legacy, as they have renewed their dedication to whole person and whole community health, with this new name, Advent Health continues to be a major driver in our community and economy, with charitable giving and economic growth. We all look forward to the major developments on the horizon for Advent Health. While we always work to recruit new companies to our community, we also focus and invest in creating an ecosystem that supports our local entrepreneurs and small business owners. It is my priority for Orange County to be innovative, collaborative, and inclusive, while providing opportunities for all of our citizens to ensure we don't leave anyone behind. And finally, it is my privilege to introduce a video entitled Voices of the Region, which will tell the story of some of our great Orange County companies and organizations.
Central Florida is really the envy of the economic development community around the country. First of all, because we're involved in things like tourism and the theme parks, but also modeling and simulation, some of the amazing innovation companies that are coming out of our incubator system. But all of that starts with the visionary leadership of our community, who all come together to say, innovation is good for our region.
Here at the UCF Incubator, our mission is to help young, early-stage companies be more successful, have a much greater chance of staying alive and launching them on out into the community to drive economic value here in the Metro Orlando area.
So for over 20 years, we've been around in the community, and with partners like Orange County, we've been able to help thousands of entrepreneurs in getting started, expanding their companies, and understanding how to get capital as well.
Black Business Investment Fund, or BBIF as we're called, is a 30-year-old community development financing institution. And what that means is that we are a bank that's created for the sole purpose of providing services to the underserved communities throughout the state of Florida.
If it wasn't up for the BBIF, I would have, you said in your company today, when times were rough, it was very difficult to get a loan from the bank. Our firm is a full-service general contracting service. We've been in business for 25 years. Some of our clients will be Greater Orlando Aviation Authority, the City of Orlando, Orange County Government, and Orange County Public Schools. We also built some of the first affordable housing in Paramore over 12 years ago.
So a business like Mr. Barnes may have very good technical skills and can go out in the marketplace and do construction projects. However, as many small businesses, they get so busy in doing that part, they don't pay a whole lot of attention to the back room. So through our technical training, We meet with the client once a month, and we keep them focused on the things that they need to do in the back room in conjunction with the things that they're doing externally for their business.
Liz Long, her vision for the BBIF, once she's done, is game changing.
At TS Skincare, we've been in business now 21 years. We offer natural treatments for acne. We actually manufacture 28 different products. I started working in the business in 2011. My mom got really ill with breast cancer, so I came home. And at that point, we had all of our books on paper. We had one computer from 1998.
TS Skincare is one of those success stories that have come to the National Entrepreneur Center to help grow their business. And so just like thousands of other businesses each year, the National Entrepreneur Center helps to connect them with resources throughout the community. They work with the Small Business Development Center in coaching the business and how to grow. They're currently working with one of the advisory boards at the Small Business Development Center. But they've also worked with NABO, which is the National Association of Women Business Owners, and Prospera. And so that's a case of a client coming in to work with one specific agency and finding that there were lots of other resources that can help them grow their business.
The NEC and the SPDC did such an incredible job. The website analysis that the NEC provided has really helped us identify the weaknesses. I think that's really translated into more money, more business.
While I was doing undergraduate research, I found this amazing table-based capacitor technology, and I thought, this has a place in the world, we should start a business with it, and the professor that invented the technology felt the same way.
Capacitech is one of a number of companies in the UCF incubation program that help us fulfill one of our commitments to the university, which is to support commercialization of some amazing technologies that are developed here.
We decided, let's go ahead and commercialize this advanced technology. We got involved with the UCF iCoach program.
That program was started by the National Science Foundation for our faculty, our staff, our students, and others from the community that want to be immersed in some training of how to really do solid market exploration.
We competed in the UCF Joust. The UCF Joust gave us $12,000 in cash, gave us a platform, an immediate win, an immediate check mark on investor readiness level. And so it's kind of been a collaborative effort. It's not just been Joe Sluggy sitting in the office. It's been Joe Sluggy working with UCF, working with partners like the Canvas program, the Star Studio program, the Catalyst program, the UCF Blackstone Launchpad Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership program to help actually make this scalable potential company.
Nebbia Technology is a software consulting company. Nebbia means fog in Italian. When I first started my company, I went to Prospera with some ideas, and I was asking them to give me some guidance on how can I start a company.
So Esteban and Nebbia Technology are a perfect example of a typical Prospera company. He had owned business previously with some partners. It was the first time that he was going on his own. Excellent in terms of computer science, software development, which is what he does best. But was a little bit lost in terms of what legal structure was best for his business.
They gave me a grant to be able to get my model and also legal and accounting.
We help these clients increase their likelihood of success and ensure that they have the right tools and mechanisms to increase the job creation and hopefully develop more sustainable businesses in the long run.
And so in Central Florida, we have this collaboration culture, not only in the community for funding, but also in the nonprofit agencies to say, how do we build a better project that can help more people? But the results of what we do is the support that we get from Orange County government and the city of Orlando, and that's leveraged from having all of these people working together. So that's become a model that has attracted international attention and produced tangible, marketable results for our community.
I want to ask all of those provide assistance and support to our small businesses as they start up and begin to stand and be recognized at this time. If you are co-located at the NEC, Prospera, the African American Chamber, and others, if you are here today, would you just stand and be recognized? Take a bow for the church. You have a teleprompter, so I went off script, so I think we have to catch up. Okay. All right, we can keep rolling. Okay. Now, there we are. As part of our vision, I want Orange County to be a shining example of public-private partnerships with a regional flair that helps us move forward with sustainability as the anchor in that. I look forward to having a conversation with other leaders within our region. On the stage in just a few minutes, I want to thank Mayor Dyer, the Lake County Chair Leslie Campion, the Seminole Chair Brenda Carey, and the Osceola Chair Cheryl Reed for agreeing to join me today on stage for a panel discussion. We will discuss some of the challenges that come with our tremendous growth, and more importantly, the opportunities we have to make this the best place to live, raise a family, and start or grow a business. Thank you all so much.
That prompter thing is no joke, right? That happens to me here and there. When I do my own prompter, so if it screws up, it's me. Or it stopped working. P.S. Timer now is 10:22, and we're like really good on time, on schedule, right? I mean, it's like, we're like NASA here at the summit. We're keeping this thing moving. Because this part's supposed to start at 10:25, so we're 3 minutes. What should we talk about? Mayor Dyer, who are you wearing? Are you wearing like, you know, Prada? Seersucker, usually we see a seersucker, right? Suit on him. It's not that time of year yet, we're almost getting there. Here are some of the takeaways as I bring our next guest. Some of the, you know, we call them sound bites on TV, but I love the doctor's quote, you know, a meatball of boredom. That's gonna be my band if I ever create one. Meatball of boredom. None of that, sir. It's been very, very interesting to hear you talk about a plethora of things. And then, of course, hearing Mayor Demings say, high octane growth is what's happening here. Wow, that's a great t-shirt or a bumper sticker. Anyways, let's continue, shall we? Are you ready for our next guest, VIP? You look so young, but you're like a powerhouse. I keep looking over like, this guy really knows his stuff, because you do. Thank you, Mayor Demings, again, for having me here on behalf of Spectrum News 13, because now I gotta wrap it up and keep going, because I think it's my last time speaking here this morning. I now would like to introduce to you Tim Giuliani. He's the president and CEO of the Orlando Economic Partnership. Did I just say Orlando? What? More coffee. Orlando. I was saying Orlando. Orlando Economic Partnership. So Tim Giuliani, who I'm the pleasure of meeting for the first time today. Not related, because I already asked. I was told you weren't, but maybe you are, to the other Giuliani. But this Tim Giuliani is taking the pace of change and altering the perceptions of a place best known for time and time again this morning, best known for tourism, by reconceptualizing the Orlando region's economic future. He is leading, get this, a multi-year pursuit to create a new model for economic and community development that challenges the status quo and establishes a new path forward toward broad-based prosperity for all. Anything new sounds scary, but he's leading the way, and we're going to listen today. Good morning, Tim.
Thank you, Yvette. Not the first time I've sat through a meeting and was confused for an intern. So thank you for having us. partnering Mayor Demings. We really appreciate, and you can tell, really the passion, the vision, the leadership, and just bringing people together is really what good leadership is all about. So we really appreciate you doing that. And to Dr. Snake's non-meatball, non-boredom, I guess, I'm going to build on some of his comments and really explore a little bit more into not only our regional economy as we see it now, but also start posing some really tough questions over the next 10 years of where we're headed. And so when you start talking about the economy in Central Florida, no different than Dr. Snake, you've got to start with number one. So I know everyone in this room loves the idea of being national champions. And look at job growth in America. Our region has led the nation in job growth for 4 years in a row. So, yeah. At some point, we're all going to have national championship trophies in our lobbies when we recognize the significance of leading the nation in job growth, because it's not just job growth in general, it's we're leading the country in STEM job growth. Look at the numbers that Dr. Snape put up there. Business and professional services, construction, oftentimes leading the way, even manufacturing. We're on national charts when it comes to all sorts of job growth, which is really evident of the dynamic nature of our economy. And let me build on, so we're number one in job growth, but also just think about population growth. And so I think everyone here has around the 1,500 people that are added to our population every week. That's the 7-county region. So think about that. Think about how many people have come in since Monday into our region. And the interesting thing about this number is not just that it's 1,500 per week, it's that half are coming from an international location. So think about the internationalization of our region when you think about job growth. And that has all sorts of implications. If you just look at the last video of the National Entrepreneurship Center to see all of the diversity support that is going on in Central Florida, and when you understand the demographics of what's happening to Central Florida, you can understand why. And so the challenge, there's a couple challenges that I want to bring up. One is, when you have this growth, 1,500 people per week, can we plan, decide, and act at a faster pace than our growth? That has been the challenge in Central Florida and is no different today. So another challenge, the world only sees half of it. And as the numbers you saw earlier, that you don't know the half of it is really a nice, eye-catching slogan. But the real aspect is you only know the fifth of it. And when you look at the actual number of people that are employed, 4/5 are actually employed in all sorts of diverse industries outside of the bread and butter of tourism and hospitality. And so professional and business services have added the most jobs over the last 5 years. And I think many of us are familiar with that kind of growth. But what about people that are trying to locate a business? And as much effort as we keep putting out there, there's still the story of the person, the editor of Fortune that visits Orlando only to learn the other half. So it's that changing perceptions that we're so keen on and still out there telling the world. And so I want to transition from thinking about how we look at ourselves and how it's changing so fast, but think about how the rest of the world is seeing us. And let's be thinking about the next 11 years. So you can't fulfill any vision of being an experimental prototype of community of tomorrow if you don't understand what tomorrow looks like. And I want to focus in on 2030. And there's a report that we're going to talk about that you can find online to learn more about what Orlando might look like. And for me, so how many out in the audience have had a child already graduated from high school? Okay. How many of you out there have a child that's in school but not yet graduated from high school? Okay. All the people that just raised their hands have been told by the people that raised their hands in the beginning how fast that goes, right? And then we live it and it really happens. And so today, my wife and I have 3 kids. And the youngest one actually turned 7 today. She's in the 1st grade. And she is the class of 2030. So to put it in perspective, it can go in a flash. Now we're going to talk about the future, but I want you to get the perspective. Look back over the last 10 years and think about the change that we've seen. So think about the fact that the first iPhone was released just about 10 years ago in 2007. So when we were sitting here in 2006, 2007, that technology wasn't in our hands. So think about how things have changed, and we adopted Facebook and Instagram, and then we got into Uber and Lyft, Airbnb and Venmo. I don't know how else you pay babysitters. But people have now built their whole careers around these technology platforms and the infrastructure that's needed to support them, right? That didn't exist barely 10 years ago. And think about how those advancements from a technology perspective, because I think when we think future, we just think tech, but it's everything else as well. Tech's only a piece. So think about how our lives have changed. Think about how we interact socially now. Yvette was talking about social media all morning. Think about how it's impacted how we travel, how visitors get here, how they plan their trips. And think about all the changes that it's caused within our country. So now, with that as a point of reference, think about the next 10 years. And we know these things happen at a faster rate, right? So we're going to experience more change than we have over the last decade. And so, in fact, in just a few weeks, we're going to have the world take a look of this experimental prototype community of tomorrow when the Rise of the Rest tour comes to Orlando. And some of you have heard about that, but are really wondering why it's such a big deal and what the opportunity is. This is the opportunity to take our startups, our best ideas, the companies that can grow here into a Fortune 500 company, and let the world see them and begin to invest in them. So AOL co-founder Steve Case is bringing a number of his investors, all iconic entrepreneurs that you've heard about and read about. And they're going to kick off their annual bus tour right here in Orlando. And they're on the search for the next high-growth company. So on that day, some company in Central Florida is going to receive a $100,000 investment at least. And they're going to be exposed to the opportunities, and we'll be learning who those finalists are in just a couple of days. So that just speaks to the momentum we have. They would want to kick off their tour about the Rise of the Rest here in Central Florida. And certainly when we think of that one opportunity and that glimpse of the future that will bring, we know you can't predict the future. You can plan for it, and you can try to create it. So this report is called 2030, Insights into Orlando's Future. And we have a foundation. It's the foundation for Orlando's future. So we take the opportunity to highlight, to provide insight, add foresight to the conversation around infrastructure, our economy as a whole, our future workforce. What are the needs? What should we be challenging our elected officials to be talking about? How can we help them to make decisions today? How can we help to inform businesses of the opportunities that exist here? So this report begins to paint the picture of what our region will look like in 2030. It'll be a resource for those thought-provoking conversations. And so we have a Cliff Notes version of the report broken down into a video. And before I bring up the panel, we want to show you that video now.
By year 2030, the Orlando region will be transformed. Our growth will impact everything. Industries, infrastructure, and institutions will change. By 2030, we'll have 5.2 million residents, 20% more than today, coming from all around the globe. We're estimated to add 500,000 new jobs. That's enough employed people to fill the Amway Center 25 times. Our fastest growing industry will be home and healthcare services. We'll outpace the rest of the nation in computer systems design, air transportation, and engineering services employment growth. And by 2030, how we get to those jobs could change. At least 600,000 more cars will be on our roads, I-4 Ultimate will be complete. Sunrail will have expanded. And self-driving cars may be everywhere. Orlando could be an epicenter of autonomous vehicle technology and smart sensor tech, leading innovative companies to the area. But our growth also brings great challenges and opportunities to address them. Annual average wages likely will not significantly increase. And if costs continue to rise, many won't be able to find affordable housing. As the region grows rapidly, we need to be prepared to meet the demands. Training a workforce, employing industries that do not currently exist, supporting our entrepreneurs, and developing our own Fortune 500 company. So let's advance our region's path toward broad-based prosperity together. Gain more insight into Orlando's future at orlando.org/2030report.
Okay, to elaborate, I want to welcome the panel up onto the stage. So first, I want to welcome Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings, City of Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, Chairman of the Lake County Commission, Leslie Campione, Brenda Carey, Seminole County Chairman, and Cheryl Reed, Osceola County Commission Chairwoman. Please join me on stage. So this is the living room portion of the, welcome to the Ellen Show. So the first question for anyone, we can start maybe with our host, Mayor Demings. Talk about anything in the report or the data you've heard this morning that's surprising, inspiring. What really struck you in the information?
Well, when we talk about the 2030 report, we know that our region will have approximately 5.2 million people at that time. That means that we will more than double. And that will create all types of challenges and opportunities for us. We know that when we grow at a net of 1,500 people per week as a region, that creates opportunities as well. But also, our tourism, we will have in 2018, I'm certain, well over 70 million visitors here to the area. So that creates challenges for us for transportation and other things. Our airport this year had almost 48 million passengers coming through it. It is projected by 2030 that number may be 57 million people. So that means there's a lot more people here, a lot of cars on our roadways, and really we want to avoid another 1,500 people. Think about that, 1,500 people per week. If that number of cars were added to our roadways, it adds to the congestion. So I know that in terms of building the infrastructure that will support that type of growth for well into the future, we need to deal with issues like a mass transit system. And I firmly believe that in order to build that system, that will be a combination of commuter rail, bus transit, etc. It's going to require an infrastructure to support it, and it's going to cost money. I believe that as a region, and certainly as a county now, Orange County is a little bit behind the 8 ball because we do not have a dedicated funding source for transportation. I believe we have to move quickly into that. Growth is good for our community and our overall economy. We've heard from Dr. Snape now. But it will also bring along with it challenges regarding food
sufficiency within our community. There'll be challenges regarding things like homelessness and other social challenges that will cause our local governments to have to deal with much of that. And so I believe that if we fail to plan, then we plan to fail. So it is incumbent upon all of us across the region to work in collaboration to meet the needs of the year 2030. And so we will talk much more about that, I know, this afternoon, about some of the things that we will be doing in partnership together. Public-private partnerships is what is going to be necessary to make this affordable to all of us.
There's another bumper sticker for you. That's a good one. That's, I think, what comes to our mind when we read it is, can you plan and decide and act faster than the pace of change? I think it's exactly what you hit on, Mayor Dyer.
So to follow up on those remarks, I'll go ahead and sign up for the dedicated funding source. I think what struck me, and I'll take it in just a little different frame, but it's probably the same thing. So in the report, I actually didn't know this, but since 1950, the region has grown every year since maybe it was 1949, I guess, by 1,000 residents. And now for the next 11, 12 years, we're predicted to grow by 1,500 residents. And the thing that struck me was the in-migration part of it and the international in-migration part of it. There was a statement in the report that said we will be the most multicultural community in the country in 2030. So that's an opportunity for us, but we need to understand that and plan for that. And we're not going to be a homogeneous population. We're going to be a very diverse population. And Orlando already had, when I use the term Orlando, that's all Suffolk County. Okay. So we already have that reputation of being a community that welcomes diversity and values inclusion and equality. And I think that's one of the things that attracts a lot of people to our community. So making sure that we continue in that vein, and we're going to be forced to if we have such a multicultural community, but recognizing the different cultures and how we plan and how we deal with having so many different types of people in our community. And then the other thing that struck me was the increase in manufacturing jobs, where most communities would be losing manufacturing jobs, but we're predicting to gain manufacturing jobs.
Yeah. Absolutely. Maybe I'll jump because you brought up manufacturing, and here we have what a great example in Osceola County.
Absolutely. You know, right now with having Neo City, which is the home of Bridge in our 100,000 square foot clean fab, we really are looking forward to that. And I was pleasantly, well, it wasn't pleasantly surprised. It more so reinforced what we see coming to Osceola County and the region, because the type of high-tech jobs and such that will happen in a 100,000 square foot facility is one thing, but it's that whole supply chain, which is then taking whatever widget you're working on, your sensor, to the point of where it's to the point of proprietary and taking outside mass manufacturing and distributing. And that's what we're looking at in Osceola County, making sure that we have that land. And of course, with our partners around the region, that those types of opportunities are available for us. And you touched on the in-migration from other countries. And even though I'm a realtor, that was something that and knowing that we have over 100 languages already spoken in our schools, when they talked about since 2010, 1 in every 9 people have moved here since 2010, and half of those were from the country. And I think that was a little bit of a surprise. But the rest of the report just reinforced what we're trying to do and trying to be those visionaries in Osceola County and build into that. And like yourself, Mayor, we are also sort of behind in the transportation area, and we are looking at a dedicated funding source coming 21st in our sales tax referendum, which is bold for us, but that's what we need to do to move our community forward, because we all know that if we don't have good transportation, we're not going to have good economic development.
Speaking of transportation, opening up opportunities, let's move up the street, Lake County, and talk a little bit about maybe what you were surprised, but let's also talk a little bit about the opportunities in wellness. And when we think of wellness, I think a lot of us think of Lake County.
Just a couple things. As far
pleasantly surprised as we read the report. One of the things that struck me was the age disparity as far as 2030, they're predicting that we will have more people that are over the age of 65 than between the age of 1 and 17. So we're hitting this point where it explains a lot why the health services will become so important at that point in time, as they are right now, and more so in the future. Another thing that struck me, though, as a Lake County resident, was that the population growth, our population growth, is about on par with Orange County's in 2030. And only second to Osceola, which is at, I think, 50%. Ours is almost at 30%. They're predicting. So I was kind of surprised by that, trying to figure out exactly where and how we in Lake County will be able to adapt to all of that additional growth and maintain our quality of life, our lifestyle, and our kind of rural lifestyle that we're so proud of and that we love so much. That's going to be challenging. But as far as the question about health and wellness, that's really a big part of. I was thinking about it today. We call it our brand, but it's really been like the county's been all about for a long time. It's a lifestyle, and now we tie that into wellness. Particularly in South Lake County, where the focus has been on Wellness Way and creating this east-west connection between Highway 27 over to the 429, opening up a corridor that would allow us to put a real focus on wellness and health. And we've had the National Training Center there for a really long time, but we've got a lot of other opportunities that are coming along that are directed at health and wellness. And we developed some sporting venues, rowing facility in Claremont, volleyball complex, sand volleyball complex in Tavares, and throughout our county, from north to south, that seems to be our primary focus, is the health and wellness and that type of a lifestyle.
Yeah. Interesting. So, Kim and Karen, share with us a little bit about what might have struck you before.
I always kind of look back at how we were. I think our history can provide so much of what we need to look forward to. Having lived here 62 years, I look back 30 years in Seminole County. We were the veteran community to Orange County, the city of Orlando. We didn't have a lot of businesses there. He was just starting us in 1985. Today, we are a large employment center. And so as we continue to grow and develop our economy and balance it with business as well as residents, then the affordable housing starts to move further out, which creates more problems because of transportation. People travel from Seminole County into downtown to work, and now it's from Volusia County or Lake County or Brevard County or other, from the north end. And it's the same thing in Polk County and others, coming in to the Central Florida region. So how do we deal with that? I think we've made some great strides. I think having a Central Florida Expressway Authority instead of just one county, I think that will help us all to be able to help govern and set policies and develop roads, because we're going to have roads. And Seminole County is very fortunate in that we've passed our first penny sales tax for transportation in 1991. So we're on our third generation of having a penny for infrastructure. And it generates about $73 million a year for us. And we share a quarter of that with our school, and Osceola at one time did that as well. So it's been kind of interesting. Somebody has been involved. I've been in office 14 years, but I was a volunteer in the community for 20 years before that. And the conversation about dedicated funding source, penny in Orange County, I mean, the same conversations we're having today, we were having 20 and 30 years ago. So we have to figure out how we're going to move that forward, because we can't just keep talking about it. Our economy is doing great in Seminole County. We have, sports tourism more so than we have tourism too, but it's more in sporting. We've had great success with that. We expect to continue to grow that. And so, again, how do you get people there? How do you get them around the region? How do you have enough hotels? None of us can do it alone. When we have a big sporting event in Seminole County, we fill up all of our hotels, and then they spill over into Orange County and downtown and out by the attractions. We had 3 million passengers coming through our airport last year in Orlando Sanford International. So as everything grows, again, what happens in our county impacts everybody around us. And, we've been very good at collaborating, and we've been very good at working together. And there are times that, we have to take on issues differently. Our affordable housing issue, for example, in Seminole County is very different than Mayor Dyer's issue in downtown. So there's different solutions, but if we aren't all at the table talking about it, I think it creates problems. And that's where I think we've done better over the last 30 years at working together, and I think we will continue to do that as I see it moving forward.
So we turned the conversation a little bit into the video and even some of the talks earlier about technology and the move towards just taking autonomous vehicles. One that I think is a lot of the headline
is that the 10 communities will work together to help develop and test autonomous vehicles. We were one of the innovators in GPS a long time ago, and that was because we had tourists that were getting lost all over the place when we tried to get from the airport to Universal or to Disney. And I don't think anybody really remembers that part of our history, but we have a partnership that has about 30 partners related to autonomous vehicle testing and development. And one of the things about autonomous vehicles, guess what? They're easier to operate on flat, level ground and in good weather. So we have pretty flat, level ground, and for the most part, we have good weather. So I think that we're going to have a real opportunity there. And as a community, we've gotten behind that initiative. And Lake Nona is going to be one of the first ones stock to actually deploy working commercial autonomous vehicles with a big program that Mayor Demings was talking about. We didn't get to ride in it, but we got to see it. It's a pretty cool thing. So when you can have demonstration stuff, and also you have 72+ million people coming through, companies want to be able to be here and demonstrate the product they have to as many people as they can.
So you bring up a couple things. One is that Orlando in July will host the Autonomous Vehicle Symposium. So the industry will be here, and we'll be looking at all of us, and they're doing demonstrations up into the villages. And they had no success in San Francisco doing demonstrations, so they bring it to Central Florida because you can make stuff happen. And so that's an opportunity for us. And we had a speaker come in through our Alliance for Regional Transportation a couple weeks ago. And I think a lot of people think maybe this autonomous vehicle technology takes care of the transportation challenges. And his opinion and data shows actually all the cars that are parked now get put back on the road and they can be utilized. So you actually get more cars on the road. And so Mayor Demings, you talked a little bit about, you have the growth of the convention center, the airport growth, you have all of the nodes. I think Chairman Carey pointed out the city's getting bigger. The urbanization is happening throughout Central Florida, which means people are traveling from one place to another. And so how do you envision you take a proactive approach to these transportation solutions? Because the technology might help, but it's not going to cure.
About 2 weeks ago, the OEP hosted a transit summit forum, and Jared Walker was there, and he was a world-renowned transit consultant. And one of the things that he said that when you're growing as a community, people want freedom. They want the freedom to be able to live where they want to live, visit and travel where they want to travel. And sometimes that freedom means that if we don't plan for it, then we kind of end up in urban sprawl and other things that would happen. So for me, in order for us to really solve some of the housing challenges that we have today, the reason why many of the residents of Orange County have moved out and they live in surrounding counties, they perceive that they'll get greater value for their housing if they live outside the county, but they're coming into the county to work. 90% or so of the residents of Orange County work in Orange County, but probably if you live in Osceola County, probably half of your residents work in Orange County. If you go to Lake County, probably most of your residents work in Orange County. And so we do have this responsibility, I think, as a region to make sure that we have an efficient mass transit system, because if you're right, if every one of those individuals, because of their freedom, wanted to drive an automobile, we're going to just exacerbate the current congestion that we have as a region. So we do have to be smart about it. I think in terms of economic development, getting our workers to work at a reasonable cost, transportation becomes very important to them. What people will need to have in order to get out of their automobiles is they have to have the convenience and the frequency and the connectivity of the mode of transportation that they will select. One of the things that Jared Walker said that, if you look at the bell curve, that 80% of our population, that is the 80% that we really need to focus on in terms of trying to understand and develop a transportation model to have them appreciate. The elite, they're on the 10% of the end of the bell curve to the right. They can afford to take whatever transportation they so choose, but for most of the people who are in the middle of the bell curve, they need to have some options there. And so those options are going to have to include connectivity between some type of commuter rail, some type of bus transit, other transit options for them in order for them to realize the convenience that they're really looking for. So it is central to us dealing with the housing crisis that we have. Just a week or so ago, there was a report that looked at the top 50 metropolitan areas in the country, and they looked at the available housing stock for the low and very low income, and on that list, we didn't fare very well. We had like 13 available housing units per 100 people, and that's not where we want to be. So how we plan for our communities that we're growing to have housing that is available is something that we're going to wrestle with. We have a task force now that we put in place in Orange that is going to really help to delve into that. I go back to, I believe, the solution to coming up with a robust transportation system is going to have to involve private partners, because it's going to be expensive. And fortunately, we have the Bright Line of the Virgin Trains that is now, they have a project that will come from Miami into Orlando, connect to the Orlando International Airport, but they're also in the early planning stages of having a rail line, a commuter rail coming from Tampa into Orlando. And then we have to have different tentacles that go out into areas of commerce and to places where people live that will connect us in order to have the type of system that we really have to have. When you look at other major metropolitan areas, they have very mature mass transit systems. And so because of the migratory patterns that we're seeing as people are moving into the area, they're coming from some of these areas where they have mass transit, whether they're coming from other world-class cities from around the world, they're coming from New York or various other places. They're used to having a mass transit system. So it is absolutely critical to, I think, our survivability and longevity of having this, what I call this high-octane economy here. That is part and parcel to getting our workers to work, and getting our people to be able to have the freedom to move around as they choose to move around.
Chairman Kerry, so you talked about Seminole County has invested several times with dedicated funding for transportation. And so over the last maybe decade, you've had Deloitte and Verizon and ADP, just to name a few, come into Seminole County and provide a lot more employment options locally. I think we'd be interested to hear, there's been a lot of success, and how do you continue to build on that going forward have a lot of these pieces coming together?
Well, part of our success story obviously has been our partnership with schools. We have one of the only A-grade districts in the region, 18 out of 19 years. So people have wanted to live in our county. Our forefathers spent a lot of time planning how they were going to preserve the rural area with the urban area. 1/3 of our county is a designated rural area. When you think about trails and natural lands and all the things that people want to enjoy, but they don't want to have to go very far to get to work, 63 miles of trails, 6,600 acres of natural lands. So I think that we're very fortunate to have, people who are thinking about all of that balance. But they really were thinking about it back then because we were the veteran community. They didn't really know that Gina Bush was really the visionary for building a real diverse live, work, play development, which was Hebrew, that started back in the early 80s. And in the 90s, when the economy turned down, it was called Death Row. For those who were in the real estate business back then, I mean, we all remember that. I was one of the original brokers out there, and it was very hard even then to visualize what he saw and how that would grow. And so today when I drive down the National Parkway and I see these huge buildings with great jobs and employment, just in the last year we've created about 5,000 new jobs with high-wage paying companies, which generated another 3,000 or 4,000 in ancillary jobs. Manufacturing is something that we've focused on as well. I noticed on the chart, that it was what the thing bottom was declining, but in our county, it's actually been increasing. So I think we as leaders have to look at diversifying our own area, and that helps, I think, everybody. If we create jobs in our area, they don't have to drive all the way downtown to get here. And it's just, you never know. So if you live in Seminole County, like when I came here this morning, you never know what to expect. So if I'm an employee and I'm expected to be at work at 8 o'clock, I'm having to give up some extra time because I don't know if it's going to take me an hour or 2 hours to get here. Now, this morning I was fortunate. I left at 7:15 because I wanted to be here to hear Dr. Smith's presentation, and I was here at 8 o'clock. So, but if it would have been any other morning, it could have been 9 o'clock. So we're using a lot of people's time, and the time they spend in their automobile, while it's more comfortable and you get a lot of different creature features and those kind of things, it still is time away from your family, time you can be spending with your children, time you can be sleeping in, as Robin said this morning. So the planning function has got to kind of be refocused, in my opinion. In our county, we're focused on how do we redevelop along where we already have infrastructure. So redevelopment of 1792, how do you attract them there? It's a balancing act, really, and I don't know, I hope we can all figure it out and hopefully get a dedicated funding source. In addition, I know some of the counties are looking at going to a penny, but we've never been able to pass as a region. We've had this discussion, again, I'm telling you, for 30 years. I know that we've been talking about a regional dedicated funding source and how do you make all those connections. And it's funny when you were talking about the autonomous vehicle. I actually was on the Metro Plan Citizens Advisory Committee 30 years ago, and I was a test driver for SunTrack. And it was like a GPS on the back of a Taurus, it looked like a Dixie cup. And if we tracked you around, and I was one of the test drivers for that, and I remember I pulled under some trees one time over in Volusia County, and the car and I were both lost at that point. So it's kind of interesting to see how far we've come and how that technology helps us get around today. So the next 30 years, who knows what it's going to bring, of course.
You mentioned something about the vision for Heathrow. Mayor Demings was talking about Disney's vision for Epcot. You think of the vision for space. So none of these things happen in 3 years. Right. We all like them too, but it's just not the reality. And so thinking Osceola County, so thinking the big transformation, I think I still find people have trouble getting their arms around how big the vision really is for a bridge in New York City and how transformational. And one thing that struck me is just when you look at Osceola County, we just had a gubernatorial election. So half the people that voted in Osceola County were not registered voters in Osceola County to vote when Rick Scott ran for the first time. Just think of how much the landscape is changing, how fast. And sometimes there's some people with a long memory and understand the history. There's a lot of people that don't. And so I think Osceola County is trying to rewrite the history and the vision. So I think help people understand more from an educational standpoint, the full transformation, the big vision here.
So if you think about Osceola County traditionally, how it's been, we're primarily tourism on the west and on the east. That's what we've been. And that's why we have a lot of folks that travel to Orange County and places looking for other job opportunities. Because those particular jobs, unless you're in the higher echelon, are not high-paying jobs. So that became kind of the vision for what do we need to do differently? How do we change our economy in Osceola County? And the bridge facility or Neo City, 100-acre tract of land in the county owns. A portion of it will be for a water facility that will help clean water coming in from the north end of Lake Toho and also for reclaiming water. And then the balance will be where there'll be a little bit of a mixed use for folks that can live, work, play, which by the way is what Osceola County is doing now with all their developments. We've drawn the urban growth boundary and said this is where the growth will occur. Outside of that is where our rural area, because ag is still a very important aspect that we need to continue to support in Osceola County and throughout our country, quite frankly. But then having those opportunities for people who live in Osceola County, other than in tourism and ag. Nothing wrong with tourism and ag, or tourism and ag, but those folks that say, okay, that's not what my interest is in, and I'm looking for something different. So having now this fad where nanotechnologies are emerging from named companies, big name companies that you're familiar with, and working with also our school system. We have STEM now in pre-K, all the way up through high school. We have a relationship with Valencia, where they have an advanced manufacturing facility, which is not for it's where you can go in and learn how to work on these multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment and come out making $60,000 to $80,000 a year. So we're changing again the whole economy where now people can grow up in Osceola County, go to school in Osceola County, and work in Osceola County. And within those developments that we're also looking at improving, we have also our job centers. And so we're trying to create more of that internal capture versus going outside of the area. We're still going to have all of this people go outside of the area, but the more we can do that and the less trips generated, the better. And part of that is to make sure that we have affordable housing as a component of these developments. It's very difficult for those working at Disney, having to live so far away. We talked about that as well in Senegal. And so trying to make sure there's opportunities there, because transportation is a big part of their expenses. And the more we can cut that down and cut down travel time so people can spend time with their families, the higher quality of life that we have.
Yeah, I think it'd be almost fun to put this conversation on a timeline, and you can kind of see, Chairman Carey talking about some of the things that were done in Seminole County a couple of decades ago, and now you see leaders in Osceola County coming together around the vision for a very similar model of creating a live, work, play environment.
It's difficult because, as you said, it's hard for people to envision because this doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a couple of years. This is a 10-year vision. A 10-year vision that can create another 80,000 jobs just because of what's happening in New York City.
Yeah. So, in parallels here, and I know you're jumping in a bit because the Osceola experience and the Lake experience, one thing when you talk about wellness, I think people might identify that with some of the things that have already come online. Whether it's the legacy of having an Advent Health headquarters here in Central Florida or Lake Nona Medical City, but kind of the up and coming charger from Lake County is this market on wellness and healthcare. We saw in the video how much it's going to grow, and you're looking to kind of match that growth with the growth you're going to experience and create a lot of opportunity.
And I think people know that historically Lake County has had a lot of retirees. We've been somewhat of a retirement community, and we're abutted on the west by the villages. In fact, the villages started in Lake County, grew in Marion, and then to Sumter, and now it's growing back into Lake County. We had 6,000 built in the park last year, just in the villages, and now they're moving into Leesburg. So the health and wellness part and health sciences, home health, all of these things are going to be critical parts of our economy. But I did want to jump in and kind of compare how we really are in a similar situation as Osceola County, and that we are trying to create our own employment centers. And we think, regionally that helps all of us. It does help from a trip generation standpoint too, keeping people at home. And the transportation network, the regional transportation network is certainly helping us in that regard. We've got a parkway being completed. We've got an innovation district that is planned in the Mount Dora area. We recently had the turnpike interchange come online in Mineola. That's opened up a tremendous amount of opportunity for light industrial manufacturing. And then with Wellness Way and the Lake Orange Connector, hopefully coming on board in the future, those transportation connections to Metro Orlando are huge for us, but they allow us also to develop these employment centers that are right there in Lake County. And again, we've worked really closely with our education partners, developing an advanced manufacturing center. And manufacturing, believe it or not, is a huge part of Lake County's economy. A lot of people don't realize that, but we have a lot of niche manufacturers that are throughout our county. And we're hoping to really grow on that and expand in the area of technology. And recently I have to brag on Groveland, City of Groveland and Lake County working together to get the Kroger Ocado distribution center. They'll be coming online in about a year. They're going to build a 375,000 square foot distribution center there in Groveland, right near the turnpike. So that's exciting, and that's all about technology as well. It's an e-commerce center that is a combination of humans and robots working together to get goods out throughout Central Florida and throughout Florida, based there in Groveland. A lot of exciting things happening. We're really going to be part of this region and to call ourselves part of the Orlando region. And so it's exciting time.
Jim, that's kind of one of the things that's totally different than 2 decades ago. I think 2 decades ago, if we were sitting up here, we'd be competing with each other. But today, I have just as much vested interest in the bridge being successful and the things you're talking about, like County being successful as I do anything that's in downtown Orlando. And I think that if we're going to be successful in the year 2030, continuing this culture of collaboration and partnership that we have created, and I can tell you we take it for granted a little bit here, but there aren't many places in the country where everybody's working together like this, and not just the governments, but the business community, the universities, the not-for-profits, all with similar visions.
Well, it's interesting because when you hear all of us talking about kind of what's becoming a niche for our communities, they're all different. And so if we were all competing for the same exact business, obviously it wouldn't work. And I think that, you get a stronghold in one niche, and whether it be, high tech or whatever the case may be, whatever, and then they tend to kind of all go to that same particular area. And it is kind of interesting though, that, again, moving freights, goods and services, another conversation we've been having for 20 or 30 years on how do we solve that, and with the autonomous truck going on. I was asking Dyer earlier if he had seen the new Suntrack down in Polk County that's 440 acres that the government has bought to test autonomous vehicles, and it's actually being built now. So I flew over it the other day and I was like, wow, you can really see it starting to take shape. And so we will, again, this region, be community leaders, world leaders, really. And we are unique, I think, for other communities, because in many parts of the country, the adjacent counties are always fighting with each other, and they're always competing. And I think we learned a long time ago that just wasn't going to really be the best thing for our citizens. And and we're all kind of in this together. And the solution is not a one-stop solution. If I fix transportation in Seminole County and they don't fix it in Orange and Volusia, we still have problems. So we are the connectivity. How do we do that? And with technology, ZR rapid transit is kind of an entry level into rail, and it works in an area, you can put down a solid hard corridor. If it doesn't work, you can pick it up and move it somewhere else. But how do we connect point A to B without such a big investment? And so we have to really look at every
aspect of it and all the technology and how can we use that to our benefit. And you know what? If we can be the test ground for something, they come in to do it and we don't necessarily have to pay for it. And so that's really, I think, been a great thing for Central Florida is so many companies do want to come here and use us as a test market for whatever reason that they want to do that. I think it's helpful.
So we'll end on sort of the collaboration and innovation, and we're all in this together as the motto of the panel. So please help me in thanking our group of elected leaders. Thank you. Now I'll turn it back over to Mayor Demings.
All right. We've had a fantastic day. I want to make one additional recognition. We noticed that Senator Bill Nelson walked in the room. Senator Nelson, would you stand for just a moment? We recognize the years of service. Are there any other elected officials who were not recognized earlier? I don't need the time to recognize you as well. All right. And so let me say thank you to all of our sponsors and especially to Yvette Biswal for that wonderful emceeing that you did today. I hope that this has been most informative for you. As you've heard now, I think we have a consistent theme, and that theme is that in order to further diversify our economy, to maintain the quality of life that we want to enjoy as a community, it is going to take collaboration across the region in order to be able to do that. So thank you for coming again, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.